Hi, this is the host of Bravo's Celebrity Poker Showdown and professional poker player, Phil Gordon. Thank you for joining me for my 2005 World Series of Poker podcast, brought to you by ExpertInsight.com. My new poker instructional DVD is available exclusively online at ExpertInsight.com. Get the DVD and get inside the mind of a pro. You only see my hole cards as I play at the final table, but you hear each and every thought I have while making winning decisions at No Limit Texas Hold'em. And now, from the Rio in Las Vegas, the 2005 World Series of Poker.
Today is the $5,000 short-handed no-limit hold'em event. We're starting with 5,000 in chips. The blinds are 25 and 50 to start the hour. Hour and 15-minute levels are very generous. Looks like we got about 300 people in the field. Very, very tough field, obviously. Short-handed play requires a lot of adjustments to a normal 10-handed game. Just about every great player at the World Series of Poker is playing this event. I wasn't going to play, and then standing at the cage, and Eric Langren and Bob Haralabos said, "Oh, come on," and they called me a five-letter word that starts with a P. Get in there and play. You've been running good at the World Series. Well, whatever they said, it convinced me to get in. At my table to start are David Olliott, the Devilfish, and Ram Vaswani, one of the best players in Europe. A couple of other Europeans. Looks like I got an almost all European crowd. It's going to be very, very tough. But we're starting with a lot of chips and should be very interesting. So from not going to play today because of a lot of other stuff going on to putting down $5,000, see what happens. Maybe it's a good decision, maybe it's a bad decision. Only time will tell. Well, it was up and down in the first level. Ram Vaswani got on a huge rush of cards. He had pocket aces, 3 hands in a row, if you can believe that. He's got about 12,000 in chips. He's sitting on my right. David Olliott was playing like a maniac. He kept betting and raising, and he played every single hand until he went broke. I busted him. I had ace-queen. He had ace-9. He only had about 1,500 in chips left. I'd raised before the flop, and he moved in, short-stacked, and I called him and busted him. I got it up to about 8,000 there, and then I lost a big pot and was back down to about 4,000, and now at the end of the first level, I just had a coin flip at the very end of the session there. I was at about 4,500 or so, and I raised, I limped in from middle late position, and the button, who was very short stacked, about with only 1,000 in chips, moved in, and I was thinking about throwing my hand away. I usually don't like to call off chips with small pocket pairs, but he says, I really want you to call, which means he doesn't really want me to call. I put him on 2 overcards, and I decided, well, it's only 1,000. I'm still going to have almost an average stack, even if I call here and I'm wrong. And I was very certain he had just over 2 overcards based on his body language and the things that he was saying. Very important lesson in this thing. He didn't really want me to call. I had the best hand, so he should just keep his mouth shut, not say anything, not give away anything. I ended up calling him and busted him. So anyway, we're on a 15-minute break. I'm going to go try to find some interviewees. Congratulations to my buddy Phil Ivey. Phil Ivey won his 5th World Series of Poker bracelet last night, very late. They got down to 3-handed pretty quickly, and then they played 6 hours of 3-handed pot limit Omaha. Anyway, Phil Ivey walked away with a bracelet and $650,000. It's his 5th World Series of Poker bracelet. I think it just firmly solidifies him in my mind as the best player in the world right now. Phil Ivey's only about 28 years old, and he's won 5. Contrast that to the 40-something-year-old Phil Hellmuth, who's played every single event since 1988, who has 10 bracelets, and I think you see that Phil Ivey's the true superstar and the best Phil in the game. So congratulations to Mr. Ivey. Robert Williamson proves why he's one of the greatest Omaha players in the world. He came in second. From what the guys at ESPN told me, that 3-handed match was really something to watch, with Ivey winning almost every single small pot and eventually winning the championship. All right, I just busted out of the 5,000 event. Went to a new table, had a great new draw, and picked up a flush draw, an ace-high flush draw. Got it all in against one pair, and didn't manage to get there. I am now rushing over to play in the Raz, 1500 Raz. I have no idea why, but Rafe's trying to convince me that it's a good idea to play, so I'm going to give it a shot. Whatever. Here we go for Raz. All right, we're just about to start the Raz event, and this table is completely populated with World Series superstars that have busted out of the 5,000 no limit event. Joining me is probably the #1 superstar at the World Series of Poker this year, Mark Seif. Mark is a two-time bracelet winner. He won both of them this year, 2 bracelets in a week. I really am almost just about to punch you. But yeah, Mark, what's the total? How you feeling? What's the damage?
I'm feeling great. I've won, I think, 800, somewhere between like 800 and 810,000 so far.
Yeah, it's all the same after 800, right?
I'm just feeling great. I couldn't have expected this, Phil. I'm just thrilled to have been able to play in these tournaments and get as far as I could.
Yeah, as far as you could, meaning #1. Now you've got the bracelet here, and you're wearing it on your wrist, and
this is just like stunning.
I really kind of, I'm envious. I got to tell you. They look great. They really look great. They look great right here on my wrist too, but I can't seem to make that breakthrough. I've got 2 final tables this year as well, but certainly not 850,000 and certainly not 2 bracelets worth. What was the secret for surviving those early rounds when people are playing crazy? And both events you started with pretty few chips, right?
Right. I like to gamble a lot. I know we have very similar styles. We like to see a lot of flops. We like to trap. We like to play position, and I tried to do that in the early going. Play a pretty conservative game, but try to see as many flops as cheaply as possible in order to trap some weaker opponents. I got fortunate and got a really quick big chip lead in the second event, and I just used it after that.
I remember there were like 40 people left. You had almost half the chip, little less than a third of the chips in play.
Right.
I was like, oh, dude, that's going to be big trouble for these guys. Big trouble.
You and I both like to push our stacks around and like to push people around, take them off hands, and force them into big decisions, and it worked out.
Well, occasionally they'll make the wrong decision.
That's right. It's really nice when they do.
All right, so we're about to play Raz, and I got to tell you, I'm probably the weakest Raz player in the field.
No, you're not.
Are aces low?
Yes, they are.
Aces are low. Straights and flushes don't count against you. 7-card stud for low, right?
Exactly. But
ace 2, 3, 4, 5 is the best, or is
a wheel is the best?
Okay.
Ace 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Well, that's good. And what would be the best starting hand would be ace 2, 3.
You figure to have the best starting hand would be like a 3-up ace.
I'm being a little bit facetious, but I hate this game.
Okay.
The only reason I'm playing it is because my buddy Rafe convinced me that I had to play. We have my third table, by the way. We had Jennifer Harmon also at the table, steaming. She had 21 outs in the no limit event and couldn't get there. So she's a little on tilt. I expect her to play very recklessly, Jen. Jen's going to play very recklessly on tilt. But we are starting about an hour late, which is fine with me. In limit events, it hardly even matters.
Exactly. And we're all starting with the same number of chips.
We're starting with the same number of chips, too. So we're going to have 1,500 each. Should be fun, right? You're on my left.
This is my third Raz tournament ever. My first one ever was against Jen Harmon when I re-raised her with a queen up, and she walks up to Daniel and goes, "Who the heck is this retard?" I ended up winning the hand, of course, but I did.
And Jen, do you remember him raising you in Raz with a queen up?
No.
The year you won it?
The year what?
The year you won that Raz tournament?
I never won a Raz tournament.
Yes, you did.
Well,
Maybe it's that high-low.
We've got a Raz champion. We've got a 2-time bracelet winner. We're anting up for the first hand. I'm playing next to Mark Seif. I'm stuck in between Seif and Harmon. How much fun is this going to be? See you guys. Our table's just broken, and I've moved to a new table, and sitting on my left is Marco Traniello, also known as Marco Harmon, Jennifer's husband. So I've gone from having Jennifer on my right to having Jennifer's husband on my left. Marco's got all the chips as usual. He's cashed 5 times in the World Series already. 6 times, sorry, Marco. Very, very tough assignment. Okay, Todd Brunson's at my new table. Todd, you just won your first World Series poker bracelet, correct?
Yeah.
You guys are the only father-son duo. Obviously, Doyle is 9, right?
Yeah.
All right. right, so the real question I have, though, is we're playing Raz, and Todd's got a 2 showing against a 6 showing, and he, of course, comes in for a raise, and a guy at the table re-raises, and you re-raise, and he re-raises, and you re-raise with the ace-2-3, and he's got ace-2-6. And then it goes king-king for you, and then you pair your 3 on the 6 card.
Right.
He went 5 bets with you.
Right.
How many would you have gone?
I would have stopped after that. I almost stopped before that. Because of the up cards, he can actually be favored if he has, if he would have had, I think it was a 6 and an ace, he actually could have been, or he had a 6 up, there was the other, there's 2 5s up. If he had a 5 and an ace, he actually could have been a favorite over me, so I would have stopped there. Because of the up cards.
And what's the real key to this game besides catching low cards?
Knowing paying attention to the cards that are out.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
All right, so you'd suggest every time a card's dealt off the top of the deck, you memorize it if you're in the hand, and you know that if it's going to hurt your hand or help your hand.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I hate playing this game. You have to pay attention all the time, especially up 3rd Street. You got to remember, keep track of every card that's out.
So an ace-2-5 in the hole, great hand, but even better if there are a couple of 5s and a couple of deuces already gone and no 4s and 3s gone.
You might have ace-2-5, and I might have 5-6-8, and I can be a favorite because of the up cards that are out. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I obviously have no clue on how to play the game, but hopefully I'll start catching a little bit better than I have been. Thanks, Todd. Congratulations on your bracelet.
Thank you.
All right, my buddy Rafe Furst is obviously at the biggest aquarium in Las Vegas. Go ahead, Rafe. Tell your story.
Well, this is the World Championship of Poker, right? So you'd think that, I don't know, that maybe people know how to play a little bit. But the guy to my left never ever played Raz before. But the woman to his left is in every pot.
Even with a king or a queen showing?
Well, the guy to my left, 2 hands in a row, brings it in for a king, and she, I swear to God, 2 hands in a row, raises with a 10. There's 3 or 4 low cards to come behind her, and she raises with a 10. And she gets there every time. Don't get me wrong.
How many chips does she have?
Oh, she's got the table covered. I mean, it's.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing. But I feel lucky to still be in it.
How many chips do you have?
I was down at the felt in my last hand. I have 1,200.
All right.
Can't wait till the race's over.
Kicking some donkeys. That's what Ray's doing. He's kicking the donkeys.
Getting kicked.
Let's go get a beer. All right, we're going to the Full Tilt Suite. All right, we're on break at the $1,500 Raz event. To say that there have been some very strange plays at the table is an understatement. My board at one point was 7-6-3 ace, and my opponent had Jack 10-10-4, and they called a bet on 6th Street. Unbelievable, but that's the kind of thing that's happening at these tables. I've recently been moved. I've got Christy Gazes on my right now. Also, Andy Block's girlfriend, Jen Creason, is at the table. I think I'm one of the chip leaders on the tournament. I've got about 5,500, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we haven't even eliminated half the field yet. So feeling very good about it. Looks like the 5,000 limit Hold'em event is still proceeding nicely. Annie Duke is still at the table. Looks like they're down to about 6. I'll try to get a chip count here shortly. But looks like she's doing very well. A lot of people crowded around. And most of Team Full Tilt is sitting around the table watching. Looks like it's going to be quite a good final there. Anyway, I'm not really enjoying the Raz too much, but I'm doing well, so got to hang in there, and more reports later. Well, that's the second tournament of the day. I busted out at 7:30. We were in the middle of the last level, and wow, the 5,000 goes pretty quick when you get blinded out, and then every time you get a good hand, it's 700 or 800 in the pot, and you catch bad against good cards. But anyway, I'm happy with the way I played. Jen Creason, who is Andy Block's fiance, actually busted me out. I had a little bit of the best of it, and she caught up and stopped crying at the table. Andy was giving her a little bit of a hard time, so glad that she's feeling a little bit better. That is a $6,500 spew day for me. Looks like Annie Duke is still in the Limit Hold'em tournament, and they're probably down to, I don't know, 60 players in the 5,000 no limit. I have no idea what the lead is over there, but yeah, So, tomorrow is not going to be a play day for me. I believe it's the 5,000 Omaha high-low. I'm going to take a couple of days off and come back for Friday for the $3,000 no-limit hold'em. I think that's going to be a great event. And, try to get some rest in between now and the beginning of the World Series of Poker Championship event. Still lots of players down here, lots of great action. Johnny Chan did come and sit at my table. It's always a pleasure to play with Johnny. He's playing pretty tight, but he's got a lot of chips, about 5,000 or so. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with here in this Raz tournament. Daniel Negreanu's still in. It looks like Andy Block's still in. Perry Friedman, my buddy Rafe Furst still in, and quite a few other great players as well. Huck Seed, I see, has a lot of chips. That's about it.
Thanks for joining me for the 2005 World Series of Poker from Las Vegas. This podcast was brought to you by ExpertInsight.com, home of my poker instructional DVD. Get inside the mind of a pro at the final table at www.expertinsight.com. Tune in tomorrow for more stories, interviews, fun, and insight into the world of professional poker. For ExpertInsight.com, this is Phil Gordon from Las Vegas, Nevada.